So, welcome to another cabin podcast.
We're back in the place again.
There
you go. So this time we are actually kind of solo, just me and you. We're joined by Coco. She's
Coco.
our kind of filling guest, but we don't really have a human guest this time. Obviously, last episode was Josh Dowie. More people in the works, but we thought this is a good time for just us two to come into play, right?
And talk about all the things that you guys might have wondered about this project.
Yeah.
And just to give you a little bit more context on the project, on the podcast, I think.
Yeah, a bit more of a lowdown about what it is we're trying to do. I think in some of the first episodes we kind of briefly explained it, but for anyone who doesn't know, me and Louis obviously met in the gym. Mutual friend Jax. Then I came here, met Louis, same day actually. Then from that, we obviously started hanging around loads together. And it came to a point where we were just chilling, we were smoking, we were getting along well, we had some kind of cool ideas to share, having a lot of conversations, but we were like, how can we turn this into more of a productive venture? How can we kind of like encapsulate all the things that we're talking about into one place and get other people's ideas and opinions? And then the podcast was spawned, right?
Yes, that's it. The podcast became so. And then you got the Story Bunch on here and we talked about parkour a little bit. And
yeah, because at first I think we were like, it was gonna be our own thing, just me and you. Then some of the stories got involved, and we thought it was gonna be the Storer Cabin podcast, which was a really cool idea. But we realised, obviously, in the fact that everyone's travelling and moving around all the time, it's gonna be quite hard to get us all encapsulated into one place. So I think Coco's going a bit mad. The dog in the background for people who can't see this. We thought, let's just make it just me and you, and then the storers and the other storer guys are going to be kind of floating, and they'll be on here from time to time if there's a big guest or whatever and people want to come down. Then it's kind of an open ball game in that sense. Obviously it's your studio, but I can't just go around being like, hey bro, come down here, man, this is my studio as well now.
No, I think it's cool. I'm not too uptight about that kind of thing.
Yeah, and plus you've got this amazing space here. It's like obviously behind the camera and to the side of the camera over here.
Studio set up, and that's what we're recording all the audio off.
Yep.
It seems like you're a lot louder than I am. It's okay, I'll correct it in post.
Okay.
It's all good.
Sick.
Yeah. So, what have you been up to, Josh?
What's
I been up to in your life?
So, actually, last week came back from Bilbao. I still can't say it. I've said it a few times, but maybe more than a few times, but I still can't pronounce it properly. Bilbao. I'm sure someone will correct me. Yeah, pretty much just that. Actually, like a place in Spain. We went out there with a team of cameramen called the Stunt Camera Crew, which are actually two really good friends of ours, Daniel Abaca and Will Sutton.
That's sick.
And they've just kind of formed this camera crew, but they obviously have a background in parkour and like kind of extreme sports, so they kind of take that into their filming ability. So Danny's going around on blades, and then Will is going around.
I did see that on your Instagram. That was
going around with more of like a jumpy kind of style, but they've got a red.
So quick.
Yeah, it's mad. Like Danny's kind of bombing it down hills, and he's getting all these cool angles and stuff. It was actually quite a short trip when you went for 3 days.
Yeah.
But it was quite an intense shoot. Just having to repeat some of the lines over and over again became quite taxing on the body, but hopefully really interested to see the
such a
result.
workout. I did do a little bit of practice with you the other day, so I'm not actually, as much as Josh is in this parkour world, I'm not in it at all, but I took a couple of goes via Josh's influence and I actually quite enjoyed it. But one thing I will say is like it's so much more exercise and strenuous on the body than some people might think.
Yeah, of course, because like you just see one element
of it. Yeah.
It's like obviously with swimming, like when you're swimming, you're actually using all the muscles in your body, and I think like parkour actually takes a lot of that as well, in the sense of like when you're doing a line, you're actually using a lot of different muscle groups that you might not necessarily be using even in the gym.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's for all those people out there. It's a very good sport to maybe take up, and yeah, you even gave it a go. And I'd say from actually all the people I've actually gone out with, you're probably the quickest, fastest learner that I've ever seen. Yeah, and I put some of these videos of him giving parkour a go up my Instagram story, and got so many replies from people who were like, "Whoa, man! Like that's crazy! It's only his first day. Like, how's he doing this kind of stuff?" So, if it's kind of something maybe you can fall back on, that's how I'm going to become parkour athlete now.
Because like the fact that we did meet in the gym and we are both avid gym goers since, I don't know, for me it was about 16. What about for you?
For me, actually, I started off fairly late, and maybe it's kind of hard, kind of not harsh, kind of stupid, but I started exercising in my kind of conditioning journey after I'd gotten a big injury, you know?
Right, yeah.
And I was like, I can't really be doing this parkour with this high impact with these injuries and not condition my body to get stronger. So from then on, I started going and, noticed the benefits of it. So I kept it up. It's just to kind of be strong for my sport, but like the fallout from that was obviously just being capable and strong in general, which I really enjoy, and I think it's a crucial part of my process, really.
Do you feel like you work out for any aesthetic purposes?
That is secondary. Like, obviously, feeling good and looking good are kind of synergistically connected. That's not even a word. Well,
maybe.
I've got a dog over here. Synergistically connected. So, they're kind of both one in the same. So I'm feeling good. So I look in the mirror sometimes. I'm like, I look good as well. Sick. That's kind of like a good byproduct of it. Yeah. So I wouldn't say it's my primary reason, but it's definitely like, a little part of it. I like it. It's definitely cool.
I mean, for me, like...
What's your purpose? What's your reasoning?
There's a couple. Whoa, look at that smoke outside. I don't know if you can see it in the camera.
Again, no one could probably see this, but...
Overexposed.
Yeah, there's some kind of like fire/bonfire happening across the way, and the smoke is billowing into the garden, really.
Nice.
It's interesting,
Well,
Why did you start,
Yeah, why... I guess it's because I've always been like really insecure about my weight, because... Obviously, for me, I don't like it, but for a lot of people, they probably would want it. It's just because I have super fast metabolism, and if I don't work out, I just get really skinny really quickly as well. So I need to really maintain everything I eat and everything I do exercise-wise. Otherwise, it's effort, man.
Yeah, you're not feeling it. So yeah, for you, I guess it's interesting that and the fact you're open about it is really good. That it's giving you more confidence, and you're much more happy with the way you look when you're going, right? Which is sick.
And also, one of the other factors is I think it just puts me in such a better mental state if I had a workout in the beginning of the day. I feel like it's almost like a form of meditation.
Yeah, for sure.
Because
it's actually interesting. You're on the same wave. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you do it and you get zoned into the workout itself. Obviously, you have your little goals here and there. I want to do like 5 muscle-ups or 10 muscle-ups in a row or whatever. I want to do like 20 push-ups with, I don't know, a clap in between everyone. Or just you can set little challenges for yourself. But the workout itself, it's like you just zone into it and you just relax almost.
Yeah, for sure. It's weird.
In a tense kind of way.
It's a relaxed form of
your
exertion
mind is
in some kind of way, yeah. And you're not really focused on anything else apart from the goal of completing the reps and the sets.
Yeah.
And in between that point, it's just you and the movement, which is really cool. And it definitely translates back into parkour and into the gym. And it's weird that you say that, it puts you into a better state of mind. And it's like, it took me maybe 4 years of actually going to the gym to realise there was a connection between me feeling the benefits of obviously the workout and getting stronger, but also my mental side as well. I was like, why when I'm going to the gym really often, I actually feel like I'm in a better state of mind and I'm just in a better place in my life. Gives you more sense of
purpose, I think.
For sure. And it's like, I started reading this book and we'll finish it now, called The Power of Habit, and in that actually goes into an element of it called keystone habits, which are like things that you do all the time, like mainly daily or at specific points in the week, that all of your other habits then revolve around. And so for me, it was the gym.
Yeah.
And making sure I'm going to the gym and staying strong. And then I noticed that kind of bled into all these different areas of my life and made me start to feel better overall. And it's like, for me, I'd say it's like the gym, fasting now, I picked up that, which cliche as it is, and reading. Those are the 3 things, apart from training, which I did before, that I've really noticed a big impact in my life from doing, which is sick, and having that's really, really been a big improvement for me, to be honest.
So yeah, I kind of want to ask you on that. How do you, because obviously, you like to do a lot of research via YouTube and also just Google in general and just consume media via a variety of different waves. And how do you feel like reading is compared to I don't know, watching a documentary on Netflix or something? How does it compare?
It's interesting.
I don't read very much, so
it could give you a different perspective. It's like, for me, it feels like an authentic way to to digest someone's opinion about something that could potentially help you. And like, I don't know why, it feels like when I'm reading it, I can relate it back to myself a lot easier. And like build a mental picture that's like much more specific to me. Because when I'm watching a documentary or like watching something, it's like it's so easy to be visually captivated by watching
what's on the screen.
Yeah, on screen, that I don't really translate it back into my own experience. But when I'm reading, because there's no face of the author, it's very much, okay, he's giving me that idea, let me digest that for a second, let me think about it in my life, and then things that have impacted me and how I felt, and then maybe if I like the idea, I'm going to implement it into me. And that's like been very helpful. And it's like also with reading and having books, it's like, I think with books and actually getting something published and co-signed and put out, it's a lot harder to do than obviously just to record a video on YouTube and then post it, because it could be any information from anywhere. Obviously, a lot of the time in these videos they have references and stuff, but with the books, I think it's a lot more of an authentic and like real way to get. I almost call it like you're upgrading your CPU, man, but it takes a bit longer. CPU. Yeah. Literally,
Would you not say it's like upgrading the software instead?
Yeah, the software. There you go. I'm not very technologically endowed with the computer stuff. I don't really know some of the specifics, but yeah, along those lines, it's like you're in a game, man, and you've got some upgrades basically. Yeah. And like they take a bit longer to get them. Pack. It's an expansion pack, but it takes a lot longer to download than the average technological.
Wouldn't that be amazing if we could just have something implanted and boom, you click and all the knowledge is just in your brain? Yeah,
it reminds me of The Matrix actually, with Neo, when he gets out of the Matrix and then he's seen Morpheus. Morpheus takes him into like a little room and it's like, bro, like you can literally upgrade yourself. You can learn martial arts. And he's like, whoa, I know Kung Fu. And he like, he just has that skill that's inside of him. Man,
Matrix is such a dope movie, man. It was so ahead of its time.
So ahead of its time, man. And so much of maybe it's almost a prediction. The Matrix is almost like a documentary.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, imagine.
Mad.
Again, it's just like an idea, but who knows where it will go with that. But yeah, reading and gym.
I really agree with that.
Fun.
And another thing, like you are really into personalities, right?
Yeah.
So you're the one who got me onto this Myers-Briggs thing that we've been just spending high times talking about.
Yeah.
So how did you first get into that whole Myers-Briggs thing? Because it's not like something that
many people know about, a lot of people know about it. Yeah. So before I start talking about it, I think there is like, it's probably like 17% bullshit, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. Like all the other things, like I'm kind of along the line of agreeing with.
Take it with a pinch of salt.
Take it with a little bit of a pinch of salt, I think. And obviously the way you look into it and the way you deconstruct it will then give you the tools to understand it, of course. And you've got to look into it pretty in depth to be like, okay, now I'm fully understanding it, or I'm fully believing it, or believing a lot of it. And it all started actually back in, I don't know the year, but a few years ago, 4 years ago. When I was in Guildford, it was with some of the other stories. I know Toby was there, Max was there, Benj, and Drew, I'm pretty sure. And we just actually tried to go to Crawley and get in. Oh, it was Crawley actually. Was Crawley or Guildford? One of the two places, whatever. Somewhere down south.
Somewhere in Surrey.
Yeah, somewhere in Surrey. And we were trying to actually get into like a Go Ape place, and not within the hours of it working. We actually saw that it was quite an open space we could just get into. So we were like, okay, cool, let's try and go on the Go Ape structures and use them and climb about. And maybe in retrospect it wasn't such a good idea, but it was so fun, man. So we did that, and then we were on the way to like a restaurant or a pub or whatever, get some food. And on the way, Toby's like, I actually heard this thing called 16 personalities. And like, it's this thing, this psychology thing, and like, I did a test and it's actually surprisingly accurate, the results I got. And I was like, wait, what? How can this be accurate? Yeah. Some little online test you take. There's no way that can, be truthful or like be, that reputable. So then he started explaining the types, this, that, and then we get run out in the pub now.
But I mean, it's very logical the way that they grind it down, because, you got the introverted versus extroverted.
Yeah, it all makes sense. Like when you look into it, it makes sense. But from the surface, I was like, nah, like how is this possible? Yeah. Like, so then we're in the pub now, and then I take my results, or I take my test, and my results are like spot on. Yeah. Like spot on. Like they're reading it and they're laughing. Like,
not horoscope.
Yeah, it's not horoscope. It's like actually like legit things. I'm like, whoa, how does that make sense? So I take the test again, I think, and again and again and again. I keep getting the same result every time. Like, I'm getting it the same result every time. I'm like, okay, this is, you know, it's more than a few times I've done it just to try and test out the potency of it. And I also took it on different websites as well to try and, you know, get a gauge of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I noticed that it was like very spot on. So I started to look into it, the origins of it. It's Myers-Briggs, his two sisters. They, I think, had a lot of philosophy and ideas from Carl Jung, who's one of like the fathers of psychology, along with Sigmund Freud. And they just basically developed this scale where there's these 16 different types of personalities. And my type is ENTP. So if there's 4 letters on the scale, or 4 letters of the type, mine's ENTP. So I'm extrovert, I'm intuitive, I'm a thinker, and I'm perceptive or perspective. I think it's one of the two. And to go into a little bit more detail, so with E, the one I am, or the first one, you can either be an extrovert or an introvert, so it's E or I. So, you know, someone who's much more outgoing in the way they're talking and speaking, or someone who's a bit more reserved and, you know, like they're sitting back and watching in social situations. Yeah. And you've got, is it E and N or S? So we've got N or S. So S would be like a sensor type person, so they're much more forming their ideas and opinions of the world. It's going to be much more through the 5 senses, so what they can taste, touch and smell and hear and that kind of stuff. And then you've got an intuitive who is maybe like rather than thinking about the here and now as much, they're much more abstract ideas that are formulated, you know, just with possibilities and, you know, kind of. I think that's almost the most airy one, but I do feel it a lot. It's weird. Yeah. And then you've got T or F, so thinking or feeling. So a feel is going to make their decisions based on their emotions mainly, and navigate the world through their emotions a lot more. And me and you, we're thinkers, so we're much more likely to be our decisions are much more logical and based around logic rather than using our emotions to govern those results of you know, our thinking. And then you've got P or J. So J is what you are, and I'm a P. So a J is someone who's much more organized, structured. Everything follows 9 times out of 10. It's going to be like, you know, on your schedule and what you're doing. And then me, who's a P, is much more spontaneous and random. So for me, anything can change at any point, at any time, and I'm ready for that to happen. But with you, I think the good thing about you is you're actually able to adapt and change your plans when it's needed to. You know. Yeah. So those are the letters. That's the scale.
Well, for me, when I took the test, my results came back, and I was very much down the middle for like pretty much all of it.
There you go.
So I don't know what that says about me. If that means I'm just a phony ENTJ or like.
No, I mean, you can be at any scale. I remember actually the guy who was on here last time, Josh Dowie, when he first took the test, he came out as an ENTP, same as me. And when we were in the truck, I was like, no, he came out as an ENFP, sorry, ENFP, the same as Toby and Benj. But anyway, so when he came out as that, I was like, yeah, fair enough, but it seems like you're so close to being the similar type as me. I kind of feel that you've got the same element as me. Yeah. And he was very balanced down the middle of what he came in with results and percentages and stuff. Right. And then he actually came back and he was like, came back recently for last week or a couple of weeks ago.
I mean, when
he was like, I'm an ENTP, Josh. I'm an ENTP. That's what I actually am. And I was like, it makes a lot more sense. He's like, I didn't ask some of the questions properly. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what makes me think that sometimes it's going to be off, or, you know, you're not going to fully be able to gauge that.
Maybe it's a case that it changes, like, depending on what mood you're in, how you feel. I mean, these questions are very, I say they're very specific in, like, weirdly unspecific ways. Like it would say something like, so if you were in a social situation by yourself, are you more likely to mingle, or are you more likely to stick to the wall? And where it becomes unspecific is like it's
weirdly specific. It's strange. It's like it's unspecifically specific, because obviously when you know the letters, it's like, oh, okay, that then ties back into the extrovert introvert and how you're gonna, you know, spend your time. And that's very, even though it seems like an airy-fairy question in some respects, it's actually very useful.
But also then, what I really loved about the test is they will ask the same question but in a slightly different wording. I don't know if it's like to trip you up or just to put you in a slightly different mindset, but it is interesting because you switch up like a couple of words and your mind just thinks differently about the whole sentence.
Yeah, for sure. Really, really interesting. One thing it's pretty cool about it is like, and which interests me more is that like the the rarer the type of personality you are, because obviously there's a frequency. It's like you got a lot of certain type and then not so much of that the other types or like certain types. And like what I notice is the rarer you get, the more specific the type of characteristics there are, and that's when I start noticing people's types. You know what I mean? So I'd be like, he's quite a unique and standout character. Yeah. Oh, he's like that. Oh, yeah, he's like that. So he must be da 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 da.
Yeah.
And then like obviously if it comes down to it, if the person's susceptible or not susceptible, like receptive to the way I'm speaking, I'm not going to be like, yo, bro, do this test. And if I don't think you're going to actually do it, and you're not going to be uncomfortable.
Yeah, because I remember you were quite cautious about it with me at first.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to seem weird, like just ask him to do this. But I'm interested to see what he gets, to see if my thinking is right. And like my hit rate has been pretty good, to be fair. Like most of the time recently, in recent years, I've been like, bro, take this test, it's good.
Whole personality thing is so interesting, just because it can help you anywhere. You can be in a work situation and it can really help you gauge a client or gauge a potential buyer of your business or your product, and it gives you like a blueprint on how to handle them in a way, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like that's like, there's two spheres to that. One sphere is that, yeah, there's a lot of, well, not a lot, there's some help in that, and it can be really useful, like what you're saying. And then the other one is like, if you then rely on that scale too much, then you could potentially get it wrong with the fact of like you said, one day someone's feeling this way, one day someone's feeling that way, and then that can kind of flip, and then someone could be like, bro, like, I didn't get that job just because you don't think I'm a flipping INTJ or I'm an ENTP. And like, I've still got a lot to offer. I've still got the skills. I'm still ready to put my all into this job. But you've actually then profiled me.
But do people do that? Do any workplaces like profile their workers by personality type and decline?
I think there is. I'm not sure about declining, but I've definitely heard it as a system that's implemented in the workplace in some places. But it must be very wacky, off the wall.
I've never heard that.
Things.
But I can imagine like some, I don't know, some places like Google in the HR department, they probably want like certain types.
Probably. Maybe they know that a certain type's going to add a certain flavour, for sure. And if they are archetypal, like, so if they are bare bones, that's what they're like, then there are going to be some types that are very useful to certain organisations or companies, 100%. So, and like you said, there's a lot of other areas where that knowledge can be useful or could be useful in the future. Like, I don't know, one thing I'm thinking of is maybe dating. Like, dating could be like a good realm for that to be like evolved into, and like in the future, maybe, I don't know.
I mean, whenever I start speaking to a girl, I always like try and find out what their personality type. Ever since you told me about it,
just coming and infected you with that.
Yeah,
you can't help it now.
I don't know. I think it's quite interesting to find out, just because it does give you some sort of a gauge on what they're like as a person. Yeah,
it's like, even if it's loose, then it's still something. It's still something to go by.
Yeah.
And in this day and age where there's so much like almost catfishing and misconceptions about what people could be like, it could be a useful way into understanding if someone's being authentic or you like them or whatever. So yeah, definitely, like, it could definitely aid that. Aid dating, for sure, or dating apps. And I remember when I'm off the market now, guys. I've got a girlfriend in Bulgaria, Stacey. But before then, actually, I was using Tinder, and it did get to the point where like I would notice someone's MBTI thing, and I'd be like, oh, cool. I might just try and say hi, speak to them a little bit, and then it would always be like an interesting, not even just conversation starter, but like conversation prolonger, I guess, because you're like, oh, okay, you're this, and there's those characteristics.
I mean, you must be on some sort of a similar wavelength if you both have gone through the trouble of learning what the Myers-Briggs thing is and testing yourself and like trying to understand exactly what each different personality type is.
The psychological element of it, for sure, is interesting, man. It's really cool. But yeah, I mean, Myers-Briggs.
Myers-Briggs. So another thing that you've sort of recommended towards me is the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene, I believe.
Yeah,
I've heard of the name Robert Greene before, and I think I've done a little bit of research into his books and whatnot, because he's quite famous for self-help /
Yeah, okay, that's the interesting thing. It's like, a lot of the books that I've read recently or have been put onto have always come into my... the last two or something. Last two... have kind of come into my realm a bit like in a mysterious way. I'll speak about another story that really recent one about another book I started reading. But with the 48 Laws of Power, this was quite obvious. I actually just put up a poll or like a call out on my Instagram story and asks for 5 self-help or like self-development. I don't really like the term self-help. It sounds like you're in trouble. Self-development books to read, and that was one that came up a lot of times. So I thought, and I heard it before, so I thought to read it. But yeah, I won't go into too much detail because that's almost part of the book. But like, it's just a good way to navigate. A good way to understand how people in different political positions or positions of authority or, I don't know, some kind of something.
In the hierarchy.
Maybe, like, some kind of hierarchy. Have been able to function and how it's worked. And it's almost like the most honest look at that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'd recommend it to people who want to have more of like a understanding of how that works.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm going to leave that, to be honest. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I was hoping that you'd tell me a little bit more before I start reading.
I reckon it's a surprise. It's like my present to you for Christmas. You can read it and then you'll be rewarded by the fruits of it.
To go through a whole book. What are you saying?
But to be fair, with that book, because it's so long and the words are so small, and it's like 450
Is it an audio
pages.
book?
Maybe, yeah, but I would say to get the full experience of it, you just got to read it.
I think I'm just lazy because like to actually put my whole mind through the words of someone else's book and to like.
But for me,
it's like washing your brain through
for sure.
someone else's thoughts.
It's like for me, I was the same. Like, and whenever I go out of touch with reading, I'm the same as that as well. It's like. Even before this chunk of books that I've been reading recently, I probably had a long period of time where I had a hiatus. I was out of it. And like when you're in that state, you're like, bro, like I don't want to put my time into doing that. And it just started off with a little bit each day. I was like, I'm going to read 5 pages. I'm going to read 3 pages or whenever I'm bored.
Yeah.
And I'll stop. But I figured out if I read too much of a big chunk sometimes, I'd be like, oh, I have to go back and read it again when I've just read it yesterday and I read a lot, and I'd leave it for 5 days and then come back to it.
See, I have a really addictive personality when it comes to things like that. If I have read books in the past, I'm not a total and if I start reading a book, I'd need to finish it.
That's it then. So good. So I've noticed that with some other stuff with him actually. Like obviously, if people don't know Louis very well, I've introduced him to some series and stuff, and before I know it, he's just finished it. So that's a blessing and a curse in a way. Like,
yeah, I
you
know.
can use it.
It's one of the reasons why I haven't started Breaking Bad or Game of Thrones. Everyone keeps on recommending it to me, but. It's like
it's consumed so much of your time.
Oh no,
I get that as well, too. I
don't have the self-control.
Things, yeah. It's like something that you'll find that's fresh and new or interesting. I put so much time into finding out about it or knowing about it, but then before you know it, it's like I feel like I overload myself sometimes. That's what for me I overload it. With you,
overload yourself.
You're good at like maybe having it and then keeping it, but for me it's like I put so much into it that I'm like my brain's fried. I'm like. I need to rest, and then I'm like, oh, that was a lot of effort. So should I go back to that now? Maybe not. Let's try something else. And then that's like, kind of like, yeah.
I just find I need to know the story. If I start it, I need to see it all the way through to the end. I just can't.
You can't put it on hold. That's interesting. Yeah, it's kind of the polarity between me and you. Maybe that's your J and then my P. It's like I need something different, some extra stimulation.
Yeah, you need to be more in your feels in the moment, and
yeah. But yeah, it's weird. I don't know. Going back to that, maybe the P thing, it's like, I do really feel like that. It's like, I remember I was actually speaking to Drew the other day and he was saying like, he was talking about something I was planning to do and he's like, well, when are you going to do it? And I was like, for me, it doesn't feel like the right time. And he's like, what do you mean? Like, that sounds like bad planning. And I was like...
What was the thing?
I can't really go into that now. Again, another little bit of like, confidential information.
Right.
But yeah, it just sometimes it feels like I'm not at the right stage to continue and I need to learn more or do more before I then get onto the next level with something. Like I would see some element of progression where it's like there's these big doors and there's small doors. With the big doors, you go through them and you're not really going to go back. It's very hard to go back through that door. But with the small doors, it's like millimeters on a ruler. You get to a certain guide stone or a certain point, but it's easy to get pulled back through it with the progress. But you go through those little millimeter stones, then you see a big door, you go through it, it's a big progression door, and then you close it behind you. So it's like, I feel like it's like that with me and just the right time to do things. I don't know why. Maybe that sounds weird or a bit different, but that's just me.
I mean, that would make you sound a little bit like an ENTFP then, right?
There's no feeling in it though. Oh yeah, feel like the right thing to do.
Yeah,
recently,
you're really going off your emotions and how you feel about doing.
But I feel like that's
action.
my P and my N maybe. It's like my like. There's some kind of like, I don't know, something that's like.
How balanced was your F and your T?
Mine was almost pure T.
Oh really?
Yeah, it was hardly any F. It was mad, right? It was pretty much maybe 87%.
Maybe if
like
you took the test now, it might be a little bit different. It might be like
I've definitely
60%.
said feel a lot more, and I feel,
I noticed that. Yeah,
somehow that's kind of come into my sphere of words, and I've been using it a lot more. So maybe I have become an ENFP. You never know. I doubt it though, but you never know. It's possible.
See, like I actually used to think about like a version of that, and it's basically, I don't know if you ever had learning to learn classes at school where they teach you if you're an audio
kinesthetic, audio, visual.
Audio and visual. Yeah, that's it.
World learners. I actually learned about that, funnily enough, taking a gymnastics course. I did my level 1 and 2 gymnastics. And in that, they talk about different types of learners. And I actually started to apply that into my coaching, and it helps so much because there's certain types of people who only pick up certain types of stimulus, which is why the school system's a bit meh. It's because they're only trying to cater to one type of learner a lot of the time, or a couple of types of learners, when they need to try and
cater to all
break
of
it
them.
apart and deconstruct it and have these classes that are down to different people. I find that pretty mad, to be honest.
But like, I still feel like I'm a combination of different learning
styles.
Learning styles. So in certain aspects, I'm a very audio learner, but if I'm actually trying to learn something, like how to do something, I have to see it being done than to actually like read through it or try and feel it out or someone just telling me, you know.
Interesting.
If it was like something like, I don't know, if I was trying to learn a parkour move off you, I would
need to see it first.
I need to see it like a million times before I can just like, bam.
For me it's actually like a combination of probably seeing and doing. For me it's maybe more doing,
more kinesthetic then.
Yeah, proper kinesthetic.
And that would put you in the feels category.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't, but it's weird. It's like the way I govern myself and I use my logic, I'd say like it's probably like I do feel like I do feel that I'm a thinker, like a very strong thinker.
Whatever you say, bro.
It's interesting. Yeah, it's just mainly like mostly logic that I use, to be honest. But then sometimes my logic can get messed up and I maybe won't do it.
Do you know in the right way, specific times that your logic messed up and you didn't know how to do it?
Loads of times.
Sorry, I'm throwing really hard questions at you.
No, it's good. It's good to. I guess it's good to get questions, and then I guess from people, from you giving me questions and I'm giving you questions, it's actually useful because people can learn more about us if they're even interested in that facet of us.
I think they are. I think
Hopefully.
we're very fucking interesting people.
Maybe we're just losers.
Yeah, maybe. I think we're actually
know.
like weirdos.
Yeah,
Just
probably.
Weirdos that like to talk into microphones.
Yeah, we're weird enough to talk into a microphone, look into a blank device over here, talking to you guys.
Hoping someone looks at this.
Yeah. Please look. Please. Someone's got to be listening and looking at us.
Tell us we're cool.
Please, we're cool. Validate us. Give us some kind of online presence. But that's actually weird. That gave me a weird train of thought, actually, to flip the conversation on its head and talk about the online realm and creators, because I've been thinking about this and it actually kind of hit home today quite hard when
I think I can feel where this conversation's going.
Yeah, it was a guest editor who we're really good friends of, who's actually been on the podcast before, called Chris, and he edited a video for us called Night Shift, which has just recently come up onto our YouTube channel, which is kind of like a play on some old videos that we made with like a new spin on it, which is like kind of like skate style nightmare kind of video. And it actually goes back to a copyright issue, or like copyright. So we actually had a song that we ended up using for the video. Chris edited the video, he used a song, thinking we thought it'd probably be fine, okay. Then today we've actually got a message with regards to a copyright issue on one of our videos, which is very frustrating. It's like we're at the stage now where the creator has to be validated and they have to be
responsible.
You know what I mean? They're responsible for their own actions down to the T. And it's like with this Article 13 thing that's coming to YouTube, it's a blessing and a curse for people, because the content creators, the people who have made the original image, they're going to get validated, like, and their content is going to be true to them and stuck with them. So, for example, if I make a video which is like a tribute video to, I don't know, Wesley Snipes, something like that, and I put in a bunch of pictures of Wesley Snipes and he's cool and I'm promoting him, he's an interesting guy, and I just love him, he's Wesley Snipes. So then he's Blade. And then I post that video up on YouTube or whatever, and then it's going to get taken down because I don't own the rights to any of that content. I don't own any of it. So now they're trying to get rid of these style videos and these style pictures and stuff like that have been put on, and the whole like grounds for copyright content is changing across the spectrum of YouTube. And I wonder how like that's going to affect people, because a lot of the biggest YouTubers have got copyright content in their videos. So it's like, where's like, even for musicians, artists, whatever.
I mean, that almost seems like there's going to be so much global takedown that people's profiles and their businesses, because a lot of people are relying off the royalties they gain from YouTube. They're just going to be out of business straight away.
Yeah, because a lot of people are just dedicated to like purely content that isn't theirs. You know what I mean? It's like that is what's got them successful, and then that to just be ripped away from them is very hard. But then
do you think like, YouTube's irresponsible for doing that, or do you think they're doing it with...
It's a move. It's tactical. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think they're doing it. I don't think no. To be fair, it's not really their choice. It's more to do with the European... I think it's the European Union or something, or it's like a more of a Europe-based problem. Okay. And I think it's actually the governments that are doing it for the creators rather than YouTube. Because remember, you see all these adverts coming up that YouTube are trying to say, what would you do if your favourite creators you couldn't watch, or copyright content is being put on much more of a look. It's much more of like a problem. And this Article 13 thing has now come into play, where these videos are going to get removed or taken down or whatever, or there's going to be legal action against these people or whatever, you know? And it's like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like...
I mean, it'll be great for the music industry, I think, because music gets ripped off all the time. Actually, to give you an example, this producer, I'm not going to name his name because I don't want to give him any clout, ripped off one of my songs, Demons, back in the day, and... he basically made an instrumental with my hook, my lyrics, but just like shifted the audio up so that if anyone uploads it, it's not going to come up in the algorithms of Spotify or SoundCloud or whatever that's been implemented now. So I found it. Someone showed me. It was just like, found you in this beat, and I don't know, at this point he had like 150k views on this beat, and like loads of people said, but I bought it, this is dope, bloody blah this, bloody blah that. And this guy's obviously made money off it, you know what I mean? Yeah, and he tried sending me £100 for like the right to use this beat. Sorry, the right to use my personal content. Now, in this circumstance, I wish these fucking cunts get fucked. Like,
yeah, interesting. Because it's very funny you say that, because it's like almost the same thing happened to us with the new video. Do you know what I mean? Like, I do agree with what you're saying. I know, but I agree with it. I fully agree. Think about it. We've got 3 million subscribers or whatever.
Right, yeah.
And then, like, there's ad revenue that's coming from that. It was just a mistake. Like, it wasn't that we were like, oh, yeah, let's just try and get this. Because usually we have a process where we find producers and we try and work with them.
In your process, it gives you opportunity to rectify, because if the person who did actually own the music came to you and be like, look, this is my music, instead of like filing a strike straight away, you could maybe work something out where you pay him a percentage of the revenue, because
that's what we're gonna do. Yeah, of course, we're trying to work something out with him, of course, because like it's not fair. Like, it wasn't intentionally done, of course, but it's like it's something that needs to be cleared up, because I understand it. Because if it was my perspective and I was a creator and I was trying to get my music on and I didn't have much of a following, and someone used my song, I'd be like, bro, please just
credit me, do something.
I'd say that first, credit me. Let's get it sorted out, and then after that, yeah, fair enough. But fair enough, he did it the way he did it, and we can't really change the past of that now. But all we can do is try and rectify the problem and sort it out for future videos, because I think that, it's very important. Well, we do it for pretty much all our videos.
Oh yeah, and with Demons, it's really funny actually. This the Gymshark athlete Nikki Blackiter, she's got like quite a strong YouTube presence, and she actually used a pitched up version of that song.
It's so annoying.
In one of her videos.
So yeah, it could have been your fucking track.
But to be honest, I'm okay with that, because when she did that, it gained me like, I don't know, quite a few hundred subscribers.
So it did benefit you.
So yeah, I'm not bothered about that.
But it's just frustrating that you can't read. I think that's what the whole problem, the whole rectification of the law has been, is to try and reward the people maximally. And I think that it will get, like, obviously for the first maybe couple of years, 3 years, 4 years, it'll be a problem for people who have just relied on this, the fan content or a lot of like copyright content for their content. But like for the actual creators, it's going to make people work a bit harder to create authentic, genuine content. And it's not really going to be apart from the fact if you just copy what someone's done, it's going to have to be bare bones what you've made up on the spot.
Yeah,
and
you
that's
have to
what
film
I love.
your
It's
own
like
footage. You have to record your own sounds.
pure creativity, and that's what
Yeah.
I want to see in 2019 and onwards. It's like, and I've seen it. We've obviously seen it before, but I want to see the rise in that more, where it's just like genuine authenticity and originality. Yeah, and that's what I love. I'm happy to see that, to be honest. Like, I think that's a good element of it. But I feel sorry for the people who are gonna have to, you know, maybe find alternatives or figure out a different strategy to, you know, be able to still do YouTube and make money from it or a living from it in the future. So I just thought it was an interesting, like, before I forgot to speak about it, I thought it was a pretty interesting avenue to speak about, because this freaking podcast is going on YouTube as well. So
Yeah, well,
hey YouTube.
We are going to I swear we say this every fucking episode.
We've got to do it.
We have to. We've got to get it on SoundCloud, Spotify, and all that jazz.
Yeah, because we have actually, to be fair, we could do SoundCloud. Even if we're like not planning to use SoundCloud for a long time, because there's only a specific amount of minutes you can use before actually signing up to pay.
We should just get it all on SoundCloud straight away.
Get it all up on there. We can do that now. All these ones, we can pretty much, or like most of them, we can get them up on there after this one. Just get it sorted. So you guys can have like a
Right, fuck it. Let's make a pact right now to get every single episode and this one onto SoundCloud.
Yeah, let's do it. That's sick. Because then it's just another place for people to listen to it, you know, and I think that's very beneficial for them to hear it rather than just see it, because I'm assuming most of you don't have YouTube Premium and you can't just, you know, on the go. Yeah, exactly. Premium? You can't just go and listen to it on your phone and in your pocket or whatever.
YouTube should just give YouTube Premium to creators.
Or that plus they should also just have it where you can just listen to a sound off your phone without actually having the visuals in front of you. They've got to do that. That used to be the same. I think
you get like certain copyright issues with that, because then you're using YouTube as a streaming service, not a...
Yeah, but you can do that with YouTube Premium though. It's like...
Yeah, because you have to pay extra.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, cool.
Because then you're experiencing like the service that you're getting from Spotify on YouTube, and for people it's not fair, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's like, it's interesting though. It's like, one thing I just literally had a brain thought on is YouTube are trying to obviously be as inclusive as possible and get as many people on their platform as possible. And they've tried to do that thing like as Netflix, as a subscription now, where you can go in there, you can use YouTube Red, you can use YouTube Premium. They've got their own versions, they've got their own shows, that kind of stuff. How long is it before something like Netflix, a platform which is just obviously movie content and series, starts to have like a more of a social element on it? So imagine there's comments on Netflix shows you've watched, or you know, you can comment about this or you can do that. I reckon that's going to become a bit more interactive for the people to be able to relate their experiences.
The only thing is, I think the problem with that is because most people experience Netflix not through their laptops or something. You can type in, it's just on their TV, so they're like they got their remote control. But I mean,
you know what I mean? It's got to be so. Imagine that you're just speaking to your controller. I like this episode. It was really good. It was. I really enjoyed it. It wasn't really my cup of tea, maybe, but you know, that didn't make sense. But something like that, and then it spell checks it for you, reads it for you, puts it into a little format you like. Bam, done. And then you can scroll through the comments and see what people have said about it, because that gives you much more of like an opinion whether to watch something or not.
Netflix doesn't give any information. They just give you like 97% match, so you're like,
true.
Okay, well,
doesn't even
I'm
show
likely to
how
like
rated
this.
it is. Yeah,
but they should though. I
reckon that'd be a good tool for growth for them, but maybe that might be like negative, because it's safe, like it comes back and like,
well, what that will do, and what I think the reason why Netflix did this is to have more of an equality between everything, so that all the content gets streamed and saw, not just like the top
ones, because it's not fair on the people who like, because if you think about it, for Netflix there must be some kind of investment process that goes into selecting the things they're going to put on. Like they see like, oh, I like what this guy's doing, I'm going to put 5 million into this show, they're going to make it, produce it, and we got
like this much for the marketing budget, so that means we're going to put in 60% of the people who watched this,
so they're pumping, they know exactly how to play it,
and
I feel like maybe you're right, with less information it's more power to them, it's better to them to be able to like balance stuff out, and
basically makes your job choosing harder.
Yeah, true. It's definitely hard for me to choose stuff on there. Yeah, for sure.
Unless how many times have you watched something on Netflix and it's been dog shite after like you see like after half an hour and like, what is this?
Yeah, for sure. I think that's it's just
too complicated to like go on IMDb sometimes
and check it out. Yeah, it's weird. It's like
it's an extra step.
Netflix these days is it's like it's a sea rather than like a lake or a pond. Like before, it was like everything on Netflix was guaranteed quality for me. At one point, it was like I knew that if I was watching something on Netflix original, it's going to be good. Yeah. But because it's been not diluted, but it's grown and expanded so much, they're trying to appeal to a bigger or wider range of people, and in that respect, you're going to then find things that you don't like. Like, I'm going to go on something and be like, that's bullshit. But then you're going to have some middle-aged woman, Betsy, she's going to go on it with her little dog on the side and be like, I love this TV show. It's amazing. You know what I mean? And like, I might hate it, but she's going to love it. And it's like, you got to create that if you're creating such a big platform as Netflix.
Yeah, no, definitely. You need to cater to every single person.
Pick up Netflix. Really. You're cool. And YouTube. But yeah, interesting.
Can you talk about that film you done with Michael Bay?
Yeah, actually, I think it's actually a time where we can talk about it. I think the press release and stuff has come out for that. We actually did a film over summer period.
And by him saying we, that doesn't mean me, it means him.
Yeah, the Stora guys. Okay, so the Stora guys and I will...
Just to be clear.
Storas, including me. We did a film... a Hollywood film with Michael Bay. Actually, it was really weirdly surreal experience.
I think we actually talked about it briefly before on the podcast.
Yeah, briefly, yeah. Just, he came to meet us in London. We met him. He's a cool character, funny guy. Then we ended up shooting in some European countries for this film, Six Underground, which is going to have Ryan Reynolds and some other big stars in it. There's a parkour character and a parkour kind of theme that goes in through it. And that's where we came in to do some stunts. I actually got like an acting part in it, a small acting part in it, which I was pretty happy with. Got a character. Be able to see me kind of running around and trying to attack people or the main guy.
How much screen time do you reckon you have?
I don't know, honestly, I don't know. I remember there was I don't want to jinx it and be like, because anything can change. Even the scenes I was in could be deleted, you never know. So I just remember a funny moment. There was a guy called, I'm not sure it was Saunders or some guy who was working in the production, who was quite high up, and he just came up to me and was like, how much are you in this film, Josh? It's mad. Like, you're always there. So like, I don't know. I'm not going to jinx it.
Got fingers crossed, hopefully you're there the whole
I'll have some screen time. Let's just
the whole film is just Josh.
It'll be interesting.
Ryan Reynolds runs in the background.
Hey man, come with me, Ryan. But Drew is actually doubling, Drew and Benj were doubling one of the main actors, Ben Hardy. He's done The Queen, I think. Was The Queen? I don't know. He was in some big films recently and he's just kind of blown up as an actor. Yeah. And then I think Toby, Max, Benj, and then a girl called Hazal from Turkey. Big up Hazal. They were in as these kind of thief type characters in a flashback scene. That's cool. And then me and Callum were villainous characters in a condo. But my character then changed to a different character. A story for another time potentially. And then it was cool. Very interesting experience to see how it all works.
Suit and tie pictures?
Yeah, so the suit and tie was supposed to be my original character.
Right, okay.
But then I just changed. And I was like, oh, cool, nice. A different character now, so cool.
Sick.
Yeah.
Well, so I look forward to seeing it.
Yeah, it should be interesting. See how it goes.
Amazing.
Yeah, funny story, funny experience for sure. And working with someone as like much of a character as Michael Bay was cool for sure.
And how did that come about?
Seeing him again
Michael Bay reached out to you guys, right?
Yeah, so you actually watched... one of the story videos, Hong Kong POV. He watched that and was like, cool, I like this. So I got a really weird email. I think Drew had originally read it when we were doing a job in Turkey for Canon. And he was like, yeah, I just got an email saying like, someone saying, so how do I is this the right email to get through if you need to do movies? And we were like, what? But the weirdest thing is, actually, I want to say this. It's a little weird coincidence.
Yeah.
When we were doing a job in Istanbul, we were doing a job for Canon, the camera company, which is like a journey, a parkour, blah, blah, blah. We were doing that. And I remember being in the bus and being like, when are we going to do movies? Like, surely someone's going to find us to do a Hollywood film or something. Yeah. It just seems like we're on the right scale. We're on the right level. Yeah. We're on the right track. Let me correct myself. The next day... that email came through and I was like, nice, cool, there's something
there. Maybe someone somewhere thought about that and was like sending the frequencies out into the universe. Who and knows, then you picked up on it.
Maybe there's something going on here, some kind of underlying coincidence, and but maybe there's not.
And it's probably Michael Bay in the background saying, have my assistant send them a message tomorrow.
Yeah, pretty much. He's that kind of guy.
That was probably a really bad Michael Bay
along impression. The kind of same lines as it, to be fair, as him, not it, him. So yeah, cool.
Nice bit of synergy you got going on there with Michael Bay.
Yeah, it was interesting, to say the least.
What's he like as a person?
Really interesting. Like maybe from an outside perspective, you could see him as being like harsh or a bit authoritarian. But I see him as assertive and like bring out the best in people when it's needed to be done. You know, he's very good at like using the tools he has and like, you know, using the capabilities of people and pushing them in the right direction at the right time and using that pressure and that, like, you know, force in a very productive way to get the results that he needs in the situation. So I really respected that element of it, and like I actually was fortunate enough to get quite close to the directing and see how he, you know, would say stuff and create a process. So it was really useful to see that, you know, and really cool. And be close to that. It was cool. Definitely interesting. Again, it's cool. Cool trip, cool time, cool experience.
Who else are you looking forward to
working with?
Yeah.
Okay, so if I had I'd say my dream director to work would be Quentin Tarantino, because I just love his like comic book style, like very strong visual style, and like the way he puts together scenes and he highlights moments, and, you know, can just like have that hero shot of the character, and it's very cool and interesting. That would be a dream. But I know that from what I heard, his amount of films that he's doing is dwindling, because he had a specific amount of films that he wanted to make when he started, and he's kind of stuck to that schedule. So you never know. I don't know. Hopefully, that's a possibility. I guess when you're
that big, you can kind of
pick and choose. Man. And like, it's not even just him being big; it's him being consistent for me. Yeah, he's consistent. You know what I mean? He makes bangers. Like, and like, the chance are you're getting a banger when you watch one of his films is very high. Yeah, you know? yeah. So that would be a dream, you know. Pretty much just him, Quentin Tarantino. I can't really.
Enough. Yeah. Did you watch the
Hateful Eight?
No. Well, I saw that as well, but it's a great film. But did you see the interview that he had with, I think, some brown dude from, I think he used to work for Channel 4.
Oh yeah, the Asian type character. I actually saw that. Yeah.
And he was just kept on trying to press on Quentin about
violence.
Violence and his advocation of violence in his films, and how that, and I just loved his response. He completely shut him down.
That, man. Yeah, exactly. It's like the thing is, he was true to himself, and he also just, you know, said what he felt. Because I think a lot of people who are in that situation might actually just like step back and be like, oh yeah, and kind of agree what the interview is saying. But you know, I think he didn't actually give the interview that much power. It's not Trevor McDonald. It's someone else along those
Trevor
lines.
McDonald.
Trevor McDonald is also a black guy, grey hair, glasses. But this guy's some kind of Sadat Khan, some kind of Khan type character. I'm pretty sure he's on Channel 4.
Yeah.
But
Channel 4.
Yeah, I feel like an interviewer to do that and try and trap someone in a conversation or a chat and try and like just get the money in a sense and put that question on forwards is very harsh, and if I was in a situation like that, he tried the same with
Robert Downey Jr.
I'd just get up and walk out.
Yeah, and that's what he did.
Guys, we're done. Yeah, we're finished here. I'm leaving. Like you didn't say it's going to be in the conversation, and you just pressed it on me now. Then I'm done. Yeah, that's what I'd do.
Such a dick move, man.
Yeah, it's really bad. You shouldn't like intentionally trap someone in a position like that, because number one, it's bad, and number two, you've lost them again. Imagine that they come back into town and they're like, oh, I like that guy, I'm gonna do another interview of him. They're not gonna do that after you've just blatantly disrespected them in front of millions of people, are you? Are they? Sorry. So yeah, interviewers, we're gonna be more interviewing as well, I guess. One of my favourite interviewers though is Nardwuar. Have you seen him? Nardwuar?
No,
Nardwuar?
I don't.
It's like an Americanish guy. He's interviews mainly like singers. He's done Kurt Cobain and like loads of interesting people throughout the years, but he's got a very extensive knowledge of the people. He goes very in depth into their things, and a lot of the interviewees will be surprised by how much knowledge he has on them. Yeah, he'll be like, how did you know that, man? I haven't told anyone that. How you found that shit out? And they always get surprised, and it's very cool seeing he's just kind of this nerdy
That's
guy.
a bit like Impact Theory, right? Where
he's
Bailey.
like that, but way better.
Yeah,
way very much better than personal things, family things, or things that no one else would really know. He must have a really good research team or working with a lot of people to try and get these things dialed or down. But I've seen him for a good 3 or 4 years, and I think he's one of my favourite interviews. Him and Louis Theroux, he's fucking jokes.
No, a lot of people are a fan of Louis Theroux.
Yeah, straight down to the point, lighthearted, but not.
I find he has the uncanny sort of skill in saying exactly what the viewer's thinking.
Yeah, it's like, yep, you buying that off. And he's a master of awkward. You know what I mean? He'll just be like, he'll be in some mad awkward situation, but he'll be like, he'll let the awkwardness brew for a minute and be like... And then he'll say his question.
Yeah, I watched I think the prostitution one where he goes to like a whorehouse or
I think I watched briefly that one
brothel,
as well.
yeah.
It's mad. It's just
And,
weird,
like,
isn't it?
I think whorehouse is probably a bit derogatory for 2019, right?
Whatever.
Or can we say that?
Who knows what we can say and can't say. I'm sure someone in the comment section will be like, you can't say that. It's against people. So, yeah, I look forward to hearing that.
But it's so awkward, but it's amazing.
Yeah, that's what I love about him, the awkwardness. And like, it's almost like he's saying something that someone else wants to hear, but they won't ask.
Definitely.
So it's like, is he going to do that? Is he going to say, oh, he actually did. He actually went through with it.
And that's actually how I feel sometimes about your videos. It's like you're watching one of you run like on a really high up ledge or something. It's like, oh, he's going to do that. He's going to jump.
And he does, yeah. It's like, whoa. Yeah, it's interesting for sure. I like that people like our videos and enjoy watching them. And I can hope they continue to like and enjoy watching them.
I'm sure they will.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
See what happens.
So, to conclude, I guess we've got like about 10 minutes left. What are you up to for the rest of the day? It's quite a chilled session, this one, a chilled podcast.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's good to get this one out, to be fair. Like,
let us know if you guys like this sort of format where we're just more chatting, kind of like relaxed, cash vibes, or would you like us to be more intense and more interviewy kind of vibes?
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is
help
about
us learn and help us grow, yeah.
We'll have like, one thing I want to say is like, obviously, we're going to have a format for this show in terms of the way it's set up and laid out, and probably going to have guests or whatever. But the good thing about it is it will be a winding road of not change, but there'll be different environments and situations and times, and I think it's just going to be one of the things that's going to grow.
I think it's just going to evolve, yeah.
Grow,
we're going to evolve, and we're going to like discover the perfect setup and the perfect format for it eventually.
And we're trying, to test out different things right now, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're not just like, having one thing and sticking with it. We're like we're trying to like experiment and explore with each different episode.
I mean, I do have a vision of like we can just have multi cameras around the one room.
Yeah.
Like those, I think, Moji cameras.
You told me about these ones, the ones that are like constant recording.
Constant recording, and it's, I think, it has like some sort of AI algorithm built in that tracks people, and it can tell when someone's speaking, so to zoom in on them. Or something.
Perfect. That's what we need. We need one of those, man. And like from the way,
obviously for the visuals perspective, I know we're going to mainly try and aim for the audio to be on all the distribution services, but it's still nice to have a visual.
Yeah, definitely. It will be good to have it. And I think like what Lou is saying is like, when we have these tools in place to implement them and see them,
it just makes making a podcast so much easier, because it's more of a just like one click thing. Yeah. Right, record.
Done.
Let's sit and chat.
And people will appreciate the visual elements. You know what I mean? Even if you've listened to a lot of them and you then come to watch one. Like when we've got the cameras and stuff, it'll be better for people to watch it, and more people will watch it anyway. So it's sick.
Like originally we were using GoPros, and like you see, this is quite a simple setup, but it actually takes quite a while to set
Frame
up,
it up, set it up, the mics, everything, sound, the computer.
Like last week we recorded one and we had a really good energy going on.
Yeah, so annoying.
And
we did
turns out I didn't press the phantom power on the microphone, so
annoying.
Nothing recorded.
But we're back up.
We're back up.
We're back
online. Ready to go.
I'm ready to go. 2019 is the podcast year.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
So many people are getting into podcast.
Yeah, it's weird that we started at this kind of time. But like, it's actually interesting. I actually tried to get someone on recently. Yeah. I probably should say, I tried to get Ali Law on. You probably know who Ali Law is. Quite a lot of people are listening. And like, he was like, I'm interested, but like I'm actually starting my own podcast now. I was like, okay, sure, go for it. Like, I still left the option open, or the invitation open, that if he wants to come on, he can. But yeah, it was really funny to hear that. Like, he's just like starting his own. And I think a few other people, Josh, even the guy who came on last week, he's starting his own self-talk podcast. So it's like, I don't think ours was the catalyst for them to do it, but it's still maybe a good time.
Inspired them.
Maybe, you never know. But it's still a good time to maybe start it. And maybe the fact we started now and we can continue is cool. Yeah.
It is indeed.
Interesting to see how it grows and how it goes. And yeah, like we were saying, it's good to get your guys' opinion, and it's good to have this one where it's just me and Louis talking, and
I mean, if you want more of us just talking like this, I mean, we'll
keep talking.
Just
talking forever.
That's it.
Listen to the jazz. But yeah, I mean,
so kids, what have you learned?
What have you learnt today then, kids? What have you been listening to? But
hopefully the kids aren't watching this, because I'm swearing in it.
Yeah, not too much though, to be fair.
I don't think I'm going to swear too much more. It doesn't suit me.
Swearing's lame.
Especially in the podcast.
It's not
But
so
sometimes
vulgar.
I feel like I need to like express myself in such ways.
No problem. Yeah, there probably will be people who come on this who swear like flipping chimney.
No man's business.
Yeah, exactly.
Swear like a chimney.
Is that a thing? Is that
Smoke
my
like a
made up
chimney.
phrase that I just made? Smoke like a chimney. That's it. But smoke, swear like a chimney. It's just coming out. It's just there's no
filter.
No filter. It's just spewing out like lava.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, literally.
Swear
Fucking
lava.
hell.
Profanity lava.
Profanity lava. Swear lava. Yeah, not really much going on today apart from the things I've already done. Just
What have you done?
about. Read some book. Went to gym.
Jeez, you sound
Not
well
eating yet.
productive.
Done my fasting. Spoke about a couple of store things.
Yeah.
Yeah, just general random. But what about you?
Don't know if I should say, to be honest. No, I've just been chilling, talking with my managers, emailing a few people here and there, and
On the grind, right? Just grinding it out.
writing music. Yeah,
my
man.
fucking arm,
Writing some songs for you lucky people.
I'm a puppet now. That's cool though. Yeah, exactly. Hearing that music, Lui Peng. Lui Peng. Lui Peng is the man. Look at my arms. I feel like I'm just like a puppet right now.
Yeah, I felt like that sometimes.
Hey guys, Puppet Boy here, just being a puppet. I'm just done with this podcast.
I'm
now.
done with it.
Yeah,
as well,
it was
so.
cool.
See you later,
I hope you guys
guys.
liked it. See you again another time. Bye.